Okay, welcome you all for the video lecture on mass transfer, unit number 2 of heat and mass transfer. Before we begin, let us look at the topics that we are going to learn in this particular unit. This unit is divided into four parts: mass transfer fundamentals, diffusive mass transfer, convective mass transfer, and mass transfer in bioreactors. So under mass transfer fundamentals, we'll be learning the concept, the basic principles that underlie mass transfer, some theoretical principles, and a differentiation of two types, diffusive and convective mass transfer. This diffusive and convective mass transfer, we are going to learn it in detail with certain mathematical formulations that are involved within it. Then we come across the principle of mass transfer, which is highly used in bioreactors, maybe possibly for oxygen transfer in the aerobic reactors. We'll be learning in detail. So let's move on to the first topic on mass transfer fundamentals. So let's begin with the topic on conceptual explanation on what and all things we are going to learn. We are going to learn on mass transfer. What is it? What are the basic definitions? How is it useful in bioprocesses? There are certain terms, flux and related terms and definitions are there that we are going to see. After that, we'll illustrate different modes of mass transfer like convective and diffusive, two different modes, and basic explanation related to that. We'll learn it. Then, underlying principle, that is Fick's first law, and its application. We'll be learning it. Plus, we'll be learning the theories that involve mass transfer, the two film theory or surface renewal theory or penetration theory. We are going to look into those aspects. So let's begin with the topic on uh, concept of mass transfer. Mass transfer is, in general, we define it using the molecular diffusion as the basic principle. The convenient explanation for mass transfer, we start with the molecular diffusion, even though there are different types. So, molecular diffusion is the movement of component molecules in a mixture under the influence of concentration difference in a system. So, the concentration gradient forms the molecules to move. So, with that principle, we define molecular diffusion. So, you have a mixture, you have molecules, individual molecules that can move. As an example, if you take a beaker of water and put some salt of color, a cube of colored cube, and you can see maybe the ink also, it's some drops of ink also. If you put it in there gradually over the time, it the color you can see diffusing through the liquid is static, so the entire liquid becomes colored after some time. It takes some time for this operation to occur. Also, you have another example that can be taken up, that is breathing. So, in the lungs, the exchange between carbon dioxide and oxygen takes place between the alveoli, that is alveolar cells, sac, and the blood vessel. So, the blood vessel and alveoli exchange carbon dioxide and oxygen across the membrane. Here the blood is flowing, and the diffusion and convection, actually both will be taking place in this phenomena. So this is also an example of mass transfer. So similarly, you can think of many examples. Just you can for a while, pause this video for a while, and think of some example where concentration gradient occurs and the molecules can move across. You come back after you thought of one or two examples. All right, let me explain you certain principles on role of mass transfer in bioprocesses. To start with, let us assume you have the cell surface, that is, you have your hand or a leg, skin surface to be precise. You will apply drug molecule, that's ointment, on the skin surface. Now that ointment has got certain chemical molecules. Those chemical molecules can transport through the skin, through follicles, hair follicles or the sweat gland directly, or through the cellular matrix, that is extracellular matrix, through that or within the cells, cell to cell transfusion. So there are different mechanisms by which it can move. All these are included as a part of mass transport. Another example that we can think of is photosynthesis. So in photosynthesis, that is transport of water vapor and carbon dioxide across the cell membranes, right? So this is also an example for mass transfer. One more thing that we generally come across is the industrial processes wherein, for example, extraction, adsorption, or even the distillation process, wherein you observe film transfer, that is, solid to liquid or liquid to gas, liquid to liquid, mass transfer takes place. That is also a better example for mass transfer phenomena. And some there are many other examples to name, like dialysis to remove the urea from the blood, biofilm as means for reaction systems, maybe like animal cell culture, plant tissue culture, right? So there again mass transport takes place. Now let us learn some definitions, some concept on mass transfer. Before that, we will have to look at some terminologies. What and all each thing refer to the basics, fundamentals that is required for mass transport. Ideal gas equation, how we write it? PV is equal to nRT, which you know it already. The total pressure can be related to the partial pressure of components. If there are two components, A and B, their partial pressures PA and PB, when you sum it up for an ideal gas, it equals to the total pressure, and that is called as Dalton's law. The concentration of individual molecules A and B for a gaseous component, for example, if taken here, so you can write it as the ratio of moles per volume. The molar volume, molar concentration is given as number of moles per volume. If you rearrange the equation, ideal gas equation, you may be able to write PA by RT. The mole fraction is related to the partial pressure to total pressure ratio. For an ideal gas, we already know about this concept in process calculation, that mole fraction of any component will be equal to its ratio of partial pressure to total pressure. Same way, you can write it for the component B, PB by RT and PB by P, very similar to for A. And if there are only two components, you should note that XA plus XB will be equal to 1, similar to PA plus VB is equal to total pressure P. The total concentration of A and B, that is Ca and Cb, when you add it up, the total concentration for an ideal gas will be equal to total pressure. So here it is partial pressure for individual concentration. If you want the total concentration, you will have to take the total pressure P by RT, and the unit of all this thing will be in mole per meter cube. However, you can convert it to gram per meter cube or kg per meter cube by multiplying with its molecular weight. Individual molecules, molecular weight you should be aware of, and if you multiply with the molecular weight, you can calculate it in kg per meter cube. Another terminology that we generally come across is rate of mass transfer. The notation that we provide here is Na. So this is the rate of mass transfer for the molecule A, Na, and if you consider a unit surface area, we call it as flux. Usually we call it as mass transfer flux, or in the case of diffusion, we call it as diffusive flux. If you take convection, convective flux. If you take together, diffusion and convection together, we call it as total flux, to total mass transfer flux, you can say. So for a given molecule A, we consider it for a species, because it's a mixture of components, A, B, at least two components. So for a given component, you identify a direction. In the direction of X, you write it. Instead of writing direction, we sometimes omit that direction X. We can simply write JA. So the capital J represents molar flux, and the molar mass transfer rate, the rate of mass transfer, molar or mass, whatever you want, you can use it, but the notation is N. How they are related? Flux is equal to rate upon unit area of mass transfer. So with this background, let's move on to the different modes of mass transfer. Let's define, then let's take an example of it. There are two types, diffusion and convection. Something very similar to what we have earlier in heat transfer, conduction and convection. Very similar to that. So the diffusion is macroscopic result of random molecular motion on a microscopic scale. So on a microscopic small internal scale, which you can't observe actually, the molecules will be moving. And overall picture, when you observe it, you see that the concentration gradient occurs at two different points, and the medium is static, possibly a single phase medium. So within the single phase medium, molecule will be moving. The best example is adding a drop of ink to the beaker of water. The water is static, single phase. We added the colored reagent there, colored chemical over there. Internally, microscopically, if you observe, the molecules, the colored molecules, it's a chemical. That chemical move because of the concentration gradient. On a macroscopic level, you observe that color gradation will be taking place. So that's in fact a diffusion. If you consider a convection, transport of material between a boundary surface and a moving fluid, or between two relatively immovable moving fluids or static fluids, in fact. Best example is extraction or leaching, where you have two phases. Across the two phases, the transport of molecule will be taking place, or you have a moving component in which a particular component chemical is added and it is being carried away. Maybe for example, we'll take some sample here. Say you have a beaker of water into which you added the ink, and the ink gets spread over, right? That's the best example. Or otherwise you can have a bromine particle which is a colored one. So bromine, the brownish color, it turns out after some time the entire jar becomes slightly brownish. Initially it is a concentrated at certain point when where you have injected it, so that will be very dark brown there. So based on the color you identify that it is spread over the time. Another example for convection I can take is preparing coffee. It's a leaching process. What you do is you add hot water to the coffee beans. The leaching takes place. There is a transfer of caffeine from solids to the water, and water is taking away that caffeine along with that. This is a convective mass transfer. Uh, in fact, internally small diffusion is taking place. The molecule of water is moving here. The moving water carries away. You get a good, tasty coffee over here at the end of it. We come across at the same time, similar to the word convection, we also come across a term called as advection. What is advection? It's a phenomenon with the movement of mass caused by a chemical species simply being carried along in a fluid stream. For example, a rapid stream of fluid is moving, and in that you have some molecules. It moves quickly. Actually it is not because of diffusion, it is not because of convection, it is just because the fluid is moving. Along with the fluid, the molecule of interest is also moving. Maybe for example, there is a strong breeze, right? Strong current of breeze is flowing. In that particular breeze you observe that you add some chemical, maybe a colored in the ingredient, or maybe uh, a chemical which you can observe or even smell. For example, spray deodorant, for example. So if you add at one particular point, you observe that that particular deodorant smell is moving along with the breeze. So even the part of diffusion is there, the more is towards the movement of the breeze. The velocity associated with the breeze will be more dominant, predominant content over there. So that's advection. Okay. Now let us consider the diffusion, the case of diffusion. Now the equation that is, or the principle that is applicable here is Fick's law, Fick's first law to be precise, and it is for steady state condition. Under this condition, you will let us consider a quantity wherein the concentration of a given molecule is large at one end and it's very less on the other end. Because of the gradient in concentration, the molecules move from one end to the other end. Let us consider a surface area, cross-sectional area through which this movement takes place. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to find out how much molecule move across this surface area per unit time, and that we call it as rate, NA. The rate of molecular movement we will calculate. Now we have counted it across a surface area. So let us consider per unit surface area. So the rate upon this unit surface area is called as flux J. Now that flux J, or this rate what we get here, it is directly proportional to the gradient upon resistance. So all the molecule will not move quickly. There will be some amount of resistance offered. We say that rate is proportional to the gradient upon resistance. That's a generic statement. Here in this case, the flux will be directly proportional to the gradient, right? Now, the constant what we get here is DAB, that is diffusivity. This is called as Fick's first law. So how do we, in fact, it is a negative gradient. I have not written minus here. It's a negative gradient. Even sometimes we write it as minus DAB, DCA. In fact, that minus sign is considered for inclusion of DCA by DX, because the change, when you say change, final minus initial, The final will be lesser than the initial, so that's why you get minus. But nevertheless, even if I write dAB by dCA by dx, equivalently it means the same. So sometimes you write minus or you don't write the minus, the concept remains similar. So ensure that you have written negative or positive, but explanatory way, if I say the gradient is decreasing order. So here J is a diffusive mass flux or even a molar flux. It depends on the unit that you write for it. Ca is the concentration of A and x is the distance it is moving. This dCA by dx is the gradient, concentration gradient, and dAB is called as binary diffusion coefficient of A in B, means A in presence of B it is moving. So B is giving obstruction, it's possible. So in presence of B, how fast A can move. So that is represented as dAB. So let's learn a little more on to the diffusive mass transfer with the fixed diffusion. Fixed law diffusion coefficient mainly discusses about DAB. The unit of that DAB is meter square per second. We can derive it using the unit of J and dC by dx. The mass flux J is can be written as kg per meter square second, whereas gradient can be written as kg per meter cube per meter. So that is concentration is kg per meter cube, x is per meter. So if you simplify this, you get a unit of meter square per second. That's the unit of diffusivity. Diffusivity value, it is present for all kind of molecules, be it gas, liquid or solid. But something that you have to observe here is gas molecules have very high diffusivity coefficient. We also call it a diffusivity coefficient, DAB. It is very large for the gaseous molecule because it's free to move. The restriction starts with the liquid, so it has got little lesser diffusivity coefficient in the order of 10 power minus 4 to minus 6. Then the solids have very less diffusivity. They have very less freedom for movement, so their diffusivity is very low. So solids have very lowest diffusivity. They can move slowly. Liquid move little faster, and gases move very fast. In that concept, if you see, the diffusivity of gas is largest, solid is lowest. The liquid falls in between. It's a steady state process and a non-flow process. That's what you have to observe here. So this diffusivity is inverse of time of diffusion. That's what we can see from this graph. What it represents is if you put some chemical, for example ink, in a beaker of water, it spreads both the way. If you put it in the center of the vessel, it spreads in both the way, x-axis direction and the minus x-axis direction, both the direction. The spreading is uniform across the two sides, across the origin to be precise. How fast that particular molecule move, it depends on the diffusivity, and the diffusivity multiplied by time, it's given here. So the diffusivity and the time of diffusion is inversely proportional. What it means is, if diffusion is very large, diffusivity is very large, time required for diffusion is very small. If diffusivity is very small, time required for diffusion is very large. What it means is, if you can relate here, the diffusivity of gas is very large. That means for the gas molecules diffuse very fast. Diffusivity for solid is very small value, inversely proportional to time. If you observe it, the time required for diffusion of solids is very large, right? So diffusivity is very small, inversely proportional to time of diffusion. What it means is, time required for the solid molecules to diffuse across B, right, across that particular unit or system, is very large. It requires more time. That's what it means. For steady state, under steady state condition, we use Fick's first law, which we have written as J is equal to, in fact, minus, you can take it here, minus dC by dx. That is rate of diffusion through unit area. Unit observed here is with respect to time. We don't consider any term. It is with respect to the space. Whereas unsteady state condition, if you take, it is called as Fick's second law. It discusses about the time, relation with respect to time. Here concentration does not change with respect to time. In the case of unsteady state, concentration of molecule changes with respect to time and space, both time and space, both. So the equation is dC by dt, the same diffusivity term we will get it here. Second order derivative of C with respect to x. So this is the Fick's second law. So let us not derive this, but this is better to understand that there are two laws, first law, second law, which is for steady and unsteady state. So let us take up one numerical now for a better understanding of the concept. So let us determine the amount of drug that passes through a membrane in 1 hour. To be precise, what we are calculating is the rate of transfer, NA, that is quantity per time for the following data. This data is given, diffusivity information is given in centimeter square per second. X distance is 2 into 10 power minus 3 centimeter. Surface area S is 10 centimeter square. Usually we take area, surface area as A. The notation we take it as A. Here in mass transfer, let us take it as S. The reason is we have uh, allowed that A, allocated that term A for the molecule A. In order to avoid confusion, we'll take surface area as S in diffusion or any mass transfer relations. C1, the concentration at a higher end is 0.5 mole per liter. On the lower end, on the other side, it is 0. Since there is a concentration gradient, mass transfer must occur. So let us use fixed first law of diffusion. We'll use Na by S, that is molar flow rate or mass flow rate upon surface area is equal to minus dAB dCA by dx. When we make use of this equation, you observe that we'll be calculating Na, that is a mass transfer rate. So mass rate of drug Na will be equal to, just substituting all the terms, dAB is equal to 10 power minus 10 centimeter square per second, and the surface area is 10 centimeter square. You observe that all the distance use unit is in centimeter, so there is no necessity to convert it for time being. So let us keep all the distance unit in centimeter itself. Then dCA by dx, the difference in concentration upon distance, right? Length, right? So dCA by dx, we can write it as delta C by delta x on a finite scale. So upon substitution, you find that Na will be equal to 2.5 to 10 power minus 7 centimeter cube mole per liter second. Just by correcting the units, I get this. Now there is centimeter cube and liter. You can relate 1 liter is equal to 1000 centimeter cube. So making use of this relation, you can convert it to liter, centimeter cube and liter. You can relate, and you can rewrite the mass transfer rate. The mass transfer rate, you can calculate it as 2.5 5 into 10 power minus 10 mole per second. But what we need is per hour. So that is why we'll multiply with 3600, and amount of drug passing through the membrane we can calculate it as 9 into 10 power minus 7 moles. It is per 1 hour. Okay. Now moving on to the next topic on convective mass transfer. The convective mass transfer is slightly different from diffusion. That along with the diffusion you have convection here. So the convection, that is the movement of molecule, we can relate it as advection plus diffusion. That is, a fluid is moving along with diffusion is also taking place. Normally this happens at the boundary layer, that is hydrodynamic or concentration gradient layers. So it happens a thin layer close to the surface present, and there this diffusion normally takes place. Whenever there is a solid surface or a contact surface, these boundary layers bound to happen. We can use the Newton's law of cooling, something that we use for heat transfer. Very similar equation, you can use it for the mass transfer. So the mass transfer, convective mass transfer equation, we can write it as the flux. The flux Ja can be written as Kc, that is mass transfer coefficient, multiplied by the concentration gradient. This is an equation which is very similar to the heat flux that we generally use it in heat transfer, something like H into delta T, or we write the Q, the rate of heat transfer there, we write it as HA delta T. Very similar to that area, rate upon area is a flux. Similarly here, J is the flux. Flux is direct equal to the mass transfer coefficient into concentration gradient. So the concentration gradient, it could be in kg per meter cube or mole per meter cube in one of the unit. Equivalently, you will have the flux in a similar unit, whether it is in kg per meter square second or gram mole per meter square second. The mass transfer coefficient here in this case will have a unit of meter per second. Very similar to what we had earlier. For diffusivity, it will be in meter square per second. Kc will be having unit meter per second. To explain the convective mass transfer, there are three different theory. There are some more, but mainly there are three which forms the basis for all the concepts. Whitman's two-film theory, penetration theory, or is also known as Higgins model, and another one, Danckwert's surface renewal theory. In all of this, you observe that there is a gas phase, bulk gas phase on one side. This is an example taken, gas to liquid mass transfer. It could be liquid to liquid, or it could be solid to liquid, solid to gas. All the cases it's possible. An example of gas to liquid is taken here. On one side you have the bulk gas phase, and on the other side you have the bulk liquid phase. When they come in contact with each other, gas phase and the liquid phase, when they come in contact with each other, there exists a small thin film layer. A thin layer is existing in between this. Near to that surface, there exists a small film. Thin film will be existing on the gas side as well as the liquid side. The interface you can observe in between these two film layers. Across this film, the mass transfer, in fact diffusion, takes place. Overall effect, the gas phase is moving, liquid phase is moving, or gas or liquid could be static. In whichever case, there exists a film that is uh, static. A static film, you can observe it. This particular mass transfer is the convective mass transfer, and the concentration profile, if you observe, it will not be continuous, it will be discrete. That is, in the gas film it will be at lower value. What you get need not be the continuation for the liquid phase. There could be a different level. This all depends upon the solubility of that molecule in that particular phase. Solubility of molecule A in gas phase, solubility of that molecule in liquid phase are different. So because of that, the concentration gradient, what you see here, will be slightly different. So it won't be exactly continuous. It's not a continuous, it's a discrete value here. So let's look into the first one, two-film theory, which is also known as Whitman's two-film theory. What it suggests is it postulates existence of a thick film of delta layer, the delta thickness, right? Thickness of that film is delta across both the gas phase and the liquid phase. And it assumes that a molecular diffusion is taking place within this film layer, which is at steady state. This is very important. This happens at steady state. The flux here is very small in this region, and it is the one which is controlling the overall mass transfer rate. The mass transfer rate in this particular thin layer is very small, and that is controlling the overall mass transfer rate. Thickness and mass transfer coefficient KL are related by KL is equal to DAB, that is diffusivity in this layer divided by thickness. What it means is lesser the thickness it is, more is the mass transfer constant. More the mass transfer coefficient KL, faster is the rate of mass transfer. Now the concentration profile here is non-linear. In this region, it is non-linear concentration profile. That's the actual case, but what we consider here, it is linear. This particular theory assumes it as a linear mass transfer relation. That is, the diffusion here is linear, but in reality, it will be non-linear actual concentration profile. So this is what generally happens. Why this particular theory fails to explain many of the mass transfer relation is because of this difference. So finally, it at least it is able to tell us a relationship between diffusivity and overall mass transfer coefficient. So the second one what we will see is Higgs model. Here there is a modification of previous two film theory. Here it considers unsteady state, mass transfer in unsteady state, which is the realistic case. That is the reason why this is more popular. Each liquid element at the gas liquid interface, that is, a gas bubble is considered, which is present in a liquid. So, gas bubble by surface tension it forms a spherical shape. So, within this spherical zone, gas is present, and the particular molecule within this zone will be moving out into the liquid phase. And when it is moving out, it is having a thin film surrounding it. That thin film which is surrounding it is being explained over here. So each of the liquid element which stays in contact with the gas for the same period of time. So if there is a small thin film present, that will be remaining with that particular within that interface for the same amount of time. There is no differential amount of time. Equilibrium exists between these two. film layers. Equilibrium exists over there. That means the rate of mass transfer from of molecule from liquid to gas phase or gas to vapor or gas to liquid phase are same. It is happening at the same rate. That means it has reached its saturation level. The liquid side mass transfer coefficient, that is very important for us to analyze always, because that is the one which is limiting the whole overall rate. So liquid side mass transfer coefficient in terms of contact time, how much time it is remaining here. It won't remain for all infinitely, it will remain for some time. So that time is theta, contact time theta. That is related to the mass transfer coefficient KL and diffusivity using this equation. KL is equal to 2 times DAB by phi theta. The phi because it's a spherical concept that has been taken here, 360 degree. Then theta is the contact time. Diffusivity is the diffusivity of A to B in that film layer using the diffusion concept. So this is more realistic. The third one is surface renewal theory. Here, this is also known as Dankworth surface renewal theory. Here, the liquid which is considered as two region, the liquid is region is considered as two region, a large well mixed region and an interfacial region. So the actual mass transfer is taking place in this small interfacial region, and in between this interfacial region to this well mixed bulk region, there is no mass transfer limitation. The mass transfer is very quick within this region. Here, the random swapping of liquid elements at the interface takes place. This means this is not stable. This keeps removing. Small amount of liquid layer will be formed. Mass transfer takes place. This moves to the bulk region. From the bulk region, new droplet will come and replace this. That is what is the meaning of renewal. The surface is renewed for every instant of time. That renewal frequency, that means how fast that renewal takes place, is an important topic here. So that renewal frequency is defined as S, which is inversely proportional to the renewal time. So this renewal frequency is related to the mass transfer coefficient KL and diffusivity, the relation KL is equal to DAB into surface renewal frequency power 0.5. So it is logarithmic, logarithmic average to be precise. Yeah. So with this, we have come to the end of basic concepts in mass transfer. So we have learned the concept of mass transfer. We know how mass transfer is important for bioprocess. Some examples we have seen. We also seen the mass transfer flux equations, Fick's first law, and related definitions. We have also seen the example for diffusion and convection, the equations for it, how they are different. We have seen the different theories of mass transfer across phase boundary, like two film theory, surface renewal theory, and penetration theory. That's it for this class. Thank you.